Hello, you wonderful people. Good afternoon. I wanted to share a few other pointers that I just recently found out from a psychologist. When it comes down to you looking for a therapist um, to help you deal with your ups and downs of BB, BPD and any other major issues, before you do an intake at any outpatient facility, ask them, do they have any psychologists or psychiatrists that specialize and is well equipped knowledge wise in dealing with borderline personality disorder. This way, you don't just get any of your therapists who have no clue on how to help you, or because you may have a episode of some sort and they don't know what to do, and then they try to transfer you to another therapist. And I'm not too sure about most of you, and some of y'all just dealing with your diagnosis and everything like that, but most people with BPD is not subject to change very easily. So to just for somebody just to uproot you, even like with your family and friends that you feel like you're being abandoned by or rejected by, you get that same sense when dealing with a therapist and they just up and leave because some of them are bold enough to tell you that they cannot deal with your condition or handle what you're going through. And that's like a real slap in the face, because if you're really, really, really hypersensitive to things, that can really push you over the edge. And I don't want that for no one. I don't wish that on myself either. However, you have to be you have to advocate for yourself, because if no one will advocate for you, then you're going to be lost in the sauce. And sometimes the way I may come off, it may seem like I'm being sarcastic or arrogant or whatever the case may be. That's not the case. I try not to overwhelm anybody, even when I'm putting things on Facebook. And since I've been uploading things via this way, talking directly, um, I try to sound as positive can be, even though this is not something to take lightly. And I noticed that what people will say, well, that doesn't really look like a BPD episode, or that's a mild type episode, or well, that you just look like you're emotionally distraught. Well, if you really did your homework before you pass judgment on anybody, research it. Don't judge people, especially don't do it to their face. I commend anyone, any of y'all, I commend you for seeking out resources, for looking for other ways to help you manage coping skills, and trying to still do function in your everyday life, that you haven't given up. And the reason why I say you haven't given up, because you haven't did what most BPD people do and are very successful with it 90% of the time, which is take their life. So I commend every last one of you, everybody who has any type of mental health challenges, because the psychologists and the psychiatrists, they can help us, but they really don't understand us unless they specialize in it. So I always tell them, and I tell anybody that thinks that I make no sense, I tell them, walk in my shoes for one day and see if you can manage this. And being as though that's not remotely possible, it's not even possible for you to see through my eyes what I am experiencing. So I'm learning that the only real person that understands me and know me is my psychologist. She's the only one that has not turned her back on me and is willing to continue to push and impart more of the skills to help keep me grounded. So I just say, ask your therapist about different skills, different coping skills. If they can't help you with it, ask them to direct you to somebody that can. Because if you don't advocate for yourself, you will suffer endlessly. No, there's no magic pill out there. But, excuse me, they always say in DBT there is no buts. And you're not supposed to use the word can't either. So, and with the skills and the proper patience of a therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, you can lessen your symptoms and lessen the struggles that you go through, so that maybe we wouldn't tend to change our ways to try to fit in and for people to accept us by us taking the crap that they dish out. We're better than that. And no, we are far from being crazy. We are some of the most highly educated people there are. We just have to find ourselves. For the last 3 days, yes, I think that I have had pretty okay days. I've been searching for the me that's inside that, even when I'm having my little moments, people say that I'm a humble, nice, kind individual. When I'm having my episodes and I just want to wring everybody's neck, I don't think there's a nice anything in me. But we are our worst critics. We think that we are the worst there is in the world. Something has to be wrong with us totally because nobody wants to deal with us. It's not us. I mean, we could blame ourselves because we either inherit this via way of chemical imbalance, hereditary, or because of childhood trauma and abuse. So no, we can't pass judgment on the ones that don't like us or don't know how to deal with us. We just have to grin and bear it and try not to allow ourselves to suffer by making ourselves numb, and it's putting a wear and tear on our bodies. We have to take care of ourselves. Reach out to people that you think are positive that can help you. I can't even say reach out to the local churches, because if the bishops and the pastors and the what are those? I mean, all the people that's of clergy, if they are not well equipped to handle mental health things or anything of that sort, if they're not guided or led by the Holy Spirit, they can't help none of us. So be your own advocate. Take care of yourself. And just remember, you're not alone. And don't give up. Don't give up of any sort for nobody. Okay? Bye-bye.